Once we have decompressed the symptoms to this recognition process, the second step is to help you lighten the psychic load that you come with. And this is where being able to talk about everything that bothers you plays a fundamental role. It is the phase in which I allow you to speak without interrupting you. You need to get out of your system everything that is poisoning your soul. And that until before you came to my consultation, no one has allowed you to do so. And that is why it is essential here not to fall into the process of judging others or moralizing them, which, if you look closely, is what most people who do not have this type of training do. This is where I tell my clients to tell me clearly what it is that really bothers them. I let them say it openly and without fear. This is what happens with the teenager who comes to my office because he is bullied at school. At first, he is not going to tell me that he is afraid, but when he expresses it and even talks to me about the hatred he feels for the person who is bullying him without anyone to tell him, you should not feel that hate, you should not want to hurt him, I mean the one who offends or humiliates you, it is a tremendously beneficial process for the client. As I said, it is important to lighten the load because when you talk to other people about what bothers you, others usually moralize you and do not help you get rid of the weight you carry. So, for example, you feel burdened because you are in a relationship, but you feel attracted to other women or other men. To give an example, you feel burdened because you hate your father or mother for all the damage they did to you when you were a child, and that they continue to do to you even in the present. It's a burden you carry, it's your own secret, which you don't even tell yourself. And that is what, over time, begins to affect you without you realizing it. In the case of the client I told you about previously, her burden arose from the fact that she was very afraid that her partner was going to abandon her. That was what caused her the most fear. So here we had to focus on helping her to see the worst that could happen to her, precisely abandonment. If you notice, here I subject you in a controlled way to the experience that you are denying and the consequences that you are going to experience when that happens. Well, your boyfriend becomes interested in other women and will eventually leave you. What's the worst that could happen to you once that happens? And when the patient responds to that, he takes off all the weight that he brings with him. Because as I told you, he experiences what he fears the most. Therefore, even if it happens to him, it's no longer a problem for him because he has already experienced it and knows very well that it is not going to be something as terrible as he himself believes. So, you already know that if you want to lighten your own burdens, you need to go through 2 stages. First, get everything that bothers you out of your system and accept that that is what happens to you. If you are afraid, good. If you hate someone, too. And second, recognize what is the worst thing that can happen to you in the future because of what you fear. So, what I want you to do here, as part of your lightening process, is to first think about what is bothering you. Here, I want you to employ 3 techniques. The first, that you write in a notebook or on your computer everything that happens to you and everything you think about it without any type of complexes. If you hate what happens to you, great. If you hate someone who makes you feel that way, good. You might love the person who makes you feel that way, or it might be someone you respect. But if you hate him right now, you don't have to worry about it. Here, I want you to vomit out everything you have been repressing for a long time. And once you have done this, I want you to think about and accept what scares you the most about what you are facing. If you have a problem with your partner and you fear that he may cheat on you, you should admit it. If you have a problem with your boss and you fear he might fire you, too. And on that basis, we are now going to apply the third part of this relief treatment. Once you have identified what you fear the most, I want you to think about what is the worst that could happen to you, in case you experience that situation that you want to escape from. If your partner cheats on you, are you going to be alone? Are you going to humiliate you? If your boss fires you, are you going to be left on the street? Aren't you going to have anything to eat? Obviously, the situations you face are infinite. That's why I want you to be the one to define what the worst thing that could happen to you is, because it will be precisely that which will allow you to realize that despite everything, all that you are facing right now is not that big. Everything you might fear will always find its solution. But to do this, you must first experience it in your psyche. That is the spell I am subjecting you to here. That you live and anticipate everything you fear, because that's what you've been repressing for so long. Once you have done that exercise, I want you to burn your notebook or delete the computer file in which you expressed everything you felt. You are going to notice that even when you said you hated someone that was important to you, or even if you wished him the pain of hell, it's okay, because it's part of your treatment. It has no consequences in the real world. That's why therapy is so important, because you can do all this in a controlled way, without affecting anyone. As you can see, with this, we have already taken another step in this process of psychic relief, which is what I usually do in my consultation. Let's now move on to explore the third phase, slowing down your thoughts and emotions. I see you there.